Hi there, it's Heather. This is a quick tutorial on how to make this gorgeous shabby chic rosette lace flower. We're going to start with a piece of lace approximately 12 inches by 1 inch, some thread and needle, and we're going to do a running stitch all the way along the long side of the lace. Once we've got the needle through to the other end, we're going to pull that tight, and that's going to ruffle the lace up to make a flower shape. Then we're going to put the two short edges of the lace together and just sew up that side so that it makes it into a rosette shape. We're going to make two of these because we're actually going to layer them up together. You can use any colour lace for this and also different widths, and it makes beautiful flowers. You can also use other pieces of fabric, so for example torn strips of lace and of satin and silk, and they make absolutely gorgeous flowers too. So try and experiment and pick out lots of gorgeous material from your fabric box, and don't forget to use up all of those scraps. So once we've got the side of this flower all sewn up, this is going to be our top piece. Just make sure you secure it with a bit of a knot so that it all doesn't unravel. You'll notice that this one, when I take it out, it's slightly looser. So what I do at the base is just gather it all together and just use a few stitches at the base just to make it a little bit tighter. And that way it makes a slightly smaller, very nice tight top layer. We're going to do exactly the same thing with another piece of lace, exactly the same size, but the next time we're actually going to keep it loose so that it's slightly bigger than the first piece. And that way, when you layer them up, the bottom piece is going to be bigger than the top piece, and you'll see that layered effect. Hope that makes sense. You'll see in a moment. The next stages can be done with some glue if you don't fancy doing any more sewing. Of course you can still use a needle and thread, but it's a lot easier just to grab some fabric glue. So if you get some fabric glue like the 3-in-1 that I use, and also some decent trimming glue, then you don't have to use a needle and thread anymore. You're also going to need a small piece of felt to lay the flowers up onto, and also some bling to finish it all off. So here you go, I'm just popping the smaller rosette onto the bigger rosette, and you can see that it layers really nicely together. So just pick a piece of felt that you'd like to use as the base. You can use really the smallest of scraps, but I decided to go with a slightly larger piece. It's almost like a doily. I'm sure you could use a doily if you wanted. So I'm using the 3-in-1 craft glue, and all I'm doing is just popping a little bit of glue onto the felt and then layering up my rosettes, the largest one on the base and then the smaller one on top. I would imagine you can do quite a few layers with this, and it would look absolutely super if you layered lots and lots up. You can make the biggest rosette flowers. So I'm just adding a little bit of glue to the base of the flower, which is this piece of felt. Then add the first rosette on, squish it down, and because that's got a hole in, you can literally just pop the next rosette on top and just squish it down onto the felt, and it holds it nicely in place. Then just leave that to dry. For the next bit, rather than sewing on the bead, because I've got some bling and a bead, you could easily sew it on, but I'm using this glue by Trimit, and it's a special gem glue, and it stops things from falling off basically. I've used it for years and it's absolutely brilliant. I put a generous amount on though, and then I add my embellishment on top of that. I just squish that into place, and then I put my bead in the centre. You could literally use anything on these flowers, like buttons or beads or rhinestones or flat back pearls, anything like that. But because it's quite a puffy flower, I'm just using a whole bead in the middle of my little buckle bling there that I cut the centre out of. Thanks so much for joining me. I'd really appreciate a thumbs up if you've enjoyed watching this. It does look cute, and I hope you'll have a go. Take care, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye!